30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Well, yes, my friends, it's time once again to get our talk on. This morning, talk with me, your host, J. Stan McCauley, along with Cleo Duke-Wright. Let's listen to a little J. Hogarth. Let's play the whole song. The incomparable J. Hogarth. Oh yeah.
Get away.
I could just sit here and listen to Jay Hogarth the whole day. I'd get lost in the music.
Yeah, there are things that I do that I get lost in.
The incomparable Jay Hogarth. Yeah. So let's come in with a little Jay Hogarth. I love the song, but we don't very it's good. We use it as the opening theme, so we really get a chance to hear the whole thing. That's why I like it.
That was nice. I listened to it in my car.
Nice album.
Yes, he gave me a copy.
Nice album. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how have you been?
I've been pretty good this week.
Mm-hmm. Good week?
Yeah, it's a good week. Busy as usual, but some good things happened this week, and so it's good. I still have to get a tree up. I don't have a tree up.
You do Christmas tree every year?
Yeah, I don't always have a Christmas tree every year, but this year we want a Christmas tree. I really would like a little real one, but then if I get a real one, I have to go get decorations. So but if you get an artificial one, those little bulbs are already on it, and you just fling it open like this. You got a tree, and when you put it away, you just go zoop, put it in the box. You don't even have to take off how we have to take off the things, and everything goes in the box. You take the whole tree apart, but now they have trees you don't have to take apart. Just fold them up and put them away.
We don't do the Christmas tree, but I remember when I was a kid though. We used to do the Christmas tree. I remember the tinsel. Oh
yes, the tinsel. We used to save the tinsel from one year to the next. I'm saying, I don't remember taking it off the tree, but I don't remember us ever going out. It was always there, waiting for Dad to come in the back door with the tree. That was a really exciting part. Daddy has the tree. Daddy has the tree. Always the same size tree. Every year the tree looked the same. So he must have went around and just kind of, he had something in mind, and it looked like the same tree every year,
Get the tree from the neighbor's yard. Cut their tree down right off the front lawn.
Oh yeah, hey, he just went and got a tree, and I saw on television this lady. You rent a tree. You rent a tree, and then she just plants it back in the ground.
Oh, now that's interesting.
And after Christmas, you don't throw it out. She just takes the tree.
That's a nice way to have tree sustainability.
Yeah, she just replants them in the ground. I said, wow, that really is good.
That must be shocking to the tree. You just come and dig it up and then bring it to your house and then bring it back home and plant it back.
I was looking last night at the beginning of the world, and everything is so the end of the beginning of the dinosaurs, the end of the dinosaurs, then the world freezes over, and then everything dies, and then it starts again. But it's always the plants first. The plants come out, then the insects, and then the little small animals, and I'm saying, wow. And it was up to chapter 7, and people weren't even there yet. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years have passed, and human beings still aren't there. But they talked about the intelligence was there in the apes and in animals that had intelligence, or mammals have intelligence. So I'm looking at this, I'm saying, wow, we're not even there yet. And then the whole world ends again. This thing happens, a catastrophe happens, the sea and the ocean goes crazy, and then what comes up? The little plant and the moss come and spreads over everything, and this happens. We're not there yet, but the little tiny ants and and all these bugs are there, and the animals that survived were the ones that who dug in, who lived in caves and dug in, and then you see them come out, and I'm saying, wow.
So this creation and recreation, and this is what? This is a movie, a book? What is this?
No, it's a documentary.
A documentary?
Yeah, and it shows
how the earth was formed.
How the earth was formed and what happened to the earth, and that meteorite that came down and exploded, and everything went wild, and the sun. Oh yeah.
It's kind of like evolution versus creation.
What evolution? Well, I didn't think that I saw the creation, but I didn't think it was controversial to the Bible. Not to me. It looked like, God and creation. It looked like the same.
I guess there's different. I mean, well, not so much. I guess. I mean, there are different theories and ways that the two can.
We could not. Humans cannot control the earth, although they think they can. Nothing was controlled by anyone but God. Nature, the atmosphere, nothing. He did everything,
Well, when I say creation versus evolution, I mean more in terms of biblical creation versus the theory of evolution, the theory of creation. They're both theoretical.
The theory of creation. Well, that is not clear in my head. What is the theory of creation?
Well, I mean the biblical account.
A biblical account,
right? God said, "Let us make man," and then Adam was there.
Yeah, but what is? I didn't see.
So evolution would be Adam evolved from a amoeba that became primate that became man.
Oh, they didn't. I have no idea what they didn't get to that part.
Well, they will.
They didn't. they did.
Because all of the creation stories, they're always the same. Because the narrative is man was not created by God. That's always the.
But all this was created
narrative.
by God. Animals, little insects.
Well,
Everything.
I agree. I believe what you're saying is absolutely
Where'd
true.
they come from?
The evolution believes that they evolved in the grand course of time.
Well, all right. They evolved. You mean they eventually adapted to the environment in which they lived?
Well, it's sort of like cities evolve. All right. So if people started living in grass huts, and then they started building them out of sticks, and then bricks, and then cement, and now you have these, high-tech cities that are, smart cities that, the lights change and the traffic flows correctly, and elevators and satellites and all. These things evolved, but they didn't just evolve on their own. There was an intelligence behind their presence.
Right.
And so that intelligence was very specific. We didn't need to build a 100-story skyscraper. It didn't just someone threw up some sand and it just dropped like that. So the evolutionists kind of say, well, look, our ancestors were apes. So the creation theory is the ant didn't evolve. The ant was designed to be an ant and placed there. Man was designed to be man. Monkey was designed to be monkey. Orangutan was designed to be an orangutan. It didn't. So that's more.
But that doesn't change that. They moved and they adapted. I don't see where that's a contradiction.
Well,
I don't see where that's a contradiction to the scripture.
it depends on how one processes it. I mean, you can make it fit or you can make it not fit. Because was Adam created or did Adam evolve over 1,000 years? And then we say, well, a year is like a day unto the Lord. So if it took 7 days to make Adam, it took 7,000 years for Adam to evolve from a monkey to where he became a higher intelligence being. So you'll hear people say that as well.
But what's a day?
Well, this is a day we understand to be the cycle of the sun. The earth, as the earth rotates in the sun, a single day, the sun, like a day, as we understand days right now, 24 hours.
That's not necessarily a day, God's day. That's our day, 24 hours.
So that's what I'm saying. Those are the competing theories. So
Right.
if you make them all fit like a stew, if you make them all fit, then you can come up with the theory, the rationalization, the justification, the narrative, whatever it is, to make it fit what we have now. But in those, there are competing ideas and notions. Some would suggest that it took thousands of years. Others would suggest it took one day. Like baking a turkey.
Right. I know what they I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But well, I guess I'm making it fit. I guess I'm.
Well, it's not so much that you're.
My God,
So I guess the ultimate the question would be: does one, not you specifically, but does one believe in the creation that the Bible talks about, and the creation that National Geographic talks about?
I think I believe in what the Bible talks about.
Well, the Bible's very specific.
The Bible's very specific.
Mm.
That's right. But I can't see where they compete. Why are they competing?
Well, those that would say there is no God would say that man evolved to become the high state that he is in.
That's what they say.
Well, that's what they say.
That's what they say. Which
Right.
Well, somebody had to start everything. That's what they say. I say God did everything.
Mm-hmm.
And our minds and our ways are not like God's ways.
That is true.
So I don't think that that's compete. But I do wonder how they know all this stuff.
They don't know.
How do they know all this stuff happened like this? They don't know.
They don't know. That's the thing. It's a theory. I mean,
It's a
maybe
theory.
their theory is right. Like, they don't know. I was yesterday. The mayor-elect, Arun Arulampalam, had one of his listening sessions. It was at the Lyric, which is the Park Street Library, and it started at 6:30. I thought it started at 5, so I was there at 5, like 4:45. So I could set up. So I get there, I get to the elevator. And she says, nothing's set up yet. I said, oh. She says, yeah. I said, start at 5? She said, oh, no, 6:30. Like, I woke up to get there on time, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I was robbed of 90 minutes of good nap time, right? So I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm in the library, so I'm standing there and walking. Like, we're going to stand here for 90 minutes, which I wouldn't have minded doing. I did wait, but the library is really nice. But they had the planets on the wall, like on the windows, and Saturn. So I'm looking at Saturn, I'm saying, I'm wondering what is in the center. Does Saturn have a core? So, being in the library, I figured I'd look it up. Of course, I didn't look it up on books in the library. I used my phone. Go to the library and start Google searching everything. Come to find out that Saturn does not have it has a core, but it's not a solid core. It's liquid. It's highly compressed liquid. It's a metal liquid. And they talked about, I watched several videos, how they know. Of course, they really don't know. But this is what they theorize. Now, they used to say that it had a core. And then there were some that said it was just a gaseous core. But they don't really know. They don't know. And so I only say that to say that there's all kinds of things that they say. Well, they don't have any way of knowing. You don't know.
But they sound so convincing.
They sound very
convincing. So
smart.
Oh, and so smart, but they don't really know. Because as I'm looking at this thing last night, I'm saying, how do you go back 254 million years? How do you, and they recreated the huge 3-ton animals. And I said, well, if they find a skeleton, maybe they could kind of figure that out. But how do they know all the rest of this stuff? How do they know?
They theorize. And it's legitimate. It's a theory, and it's supported and defended, and others come up with the same theory, and I don't have a problem with it being a theory, and I don't have a problem with most ideas that people might have. I guess my issue is when the way they make it seem like it is absolute. Now, of course, here's somebody that's sitting here talking about absolutes. I believe the biblical creation, but it's an account. There is no way to prove it.
Well,
it's a choice we make. We take a step of faith in believing many things.
They said that we were 3/5 of a human being, and they wrote books on it.
Right, and
they wrote books that we were not human.
The smartest people on the planet at the time. They being black folk.
I read a book once.
Black folk.
Yeah.
Right.
And this person was like from Harvard or one of these schools, and he was writing how black people were not human. I mean, we're not human beings. And of course, I was a kid. That was very disturbing to me, and how true was that? How true? And those were very smart people who had 100
Smart does not
degrees.
guarantee correct or rightness. It just, and smart in certain areas. But a lot of times theories or notions or, people postulate they have these ideas that they believe to be so. Then they come up with their theory as to why their idea is so. and then they try and pitch that to as many people will believe it. And then people believe it. That because someone believes something doesn't make it so.
That puts us in like a quagmire or something that we're never gonna know.
Oh, no.
I mean, actually, we're never gonna know.
We can know some things. Like we know that it rained yesterday here in Hartford.
Yeah.
But we don't know if it's going to rain next Tuesday.
Yes, they do, because they have this weather thing that's 10 days. Right? And they say, well,
the 10-day forecast.
Yeah. 10-day forecast. And
Right.
they use all these things to figure it out.
Right. I mean, they come close. Now, that doesn't mean that what they theorize is wrong, but they don't actually.
No.
And that's the issue. So, black people are not 3/5 of a human being.
No, we're not.
These are things that people got wrong.
Smart people.
Smart people.
What we call smart people.
Right. They thought the earth was flat.
They
were wrong.
This young couple who married, and the wife is a teacher and he is a lay person. He is a not a lay, blue collar worker. Okay. And he has so much sense and so much wisdom with his, but he always refers to her because she has a degree, which angers me because I'm saying, you're right. What are you talking about? But they put so much faith in this degree thing, and they may not have a bit of common sense, a bit of, and his gift is, he's not using his gift.
Well,
and I think that's very sad. Maybe one day he'll figure it out. He's just a young person, and education and degrees are everything. I know people who've lost jobs, worked on a job, did it for 20 years, but all of a sudden they don't have a degree, so they can't do it. They bring this young person in, or somebody with a degree who knows nothing.
Well, degree generally means you have mastered
memorization
information that's available, and you can recall it and explain it and apply it in a practical sense because you've received some sort of training and very specialized. But because you have a degree in nuclear physics doesn't mean that you can change a tire or type or any of the other multitude of things that human beings do.
But together
there's no end. There's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of areas of expertise. You have a degree in one. And so if we're going to talk about that, then yeah, you probably are the smartest guy in the room. But that doesn't automatically flow over to every other thing.
Do we do that? We do that.
Well, I think by default, we give people certain levels of smartness. The lawyer and the doctor at the top of the list.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm a doctor. How dare you question me?
The most immature people that I ever met in my life were doctors. But they were good at their craft. But
they're good at doctoring.
But who tells you can step on someone because you have a degree? Because you're a doctor. Because
I think those are more personality traits, and the doctor position is just used as the justification for their willingness to step on other people.
Step on other people, Carl.
Right.
Well, I haven't been in the OR for many, many years, and they probably have changed. They don't do as much of that now, probably because I don't think young people would really stand for that as much as we did.
Well, I don't know about that. There's a lot that people will stand for because there's certain things that folks want and have to get access to. And there are people who can grant you that access or deny you access. So people will do what they have to do in order to attain the things that they want. That hasn't gone anywhere.
That hasn't gone anywhere.
That hasn't gone anywhere. Even in a cancel culture, you know, where you have a lot of younger people who aren't going to put up with stuff, but within their own circle, if you don't acquiesce, you'll be canceled out of there. So I mean, you know, it's peer pressure. It's just manifesting in a different way.
Yeah.
That's all. People are still people.
I just have memories of
doctors throwing scalpels at you.
Oh yeah, and carrying on ridiculously, and just standing there,
petulance,
listening to this person degrade you, and then when you talk up, well, eventually you talk up. Eventually, I talked up after years of being
beat down and browbeaten.
Yeah.
Condescension.
But the thing is, you don't change anything. Nothing changes. You change. You say you're going to stay here and take this, or you got to leave.
And you know what? Ultimately, it's like being on a plantation. You're not going to change the plantation. You have to leave it.
You have to leave it. And that's a sad thing. You may like what you do, but you got to leave here. I got to leave here. And this has happened to me so many churches that I've worked at. And you know, you think you're right and you're fighting for what you're right, but you know, you can't change whatever's happening there. So you have to leave there.
It's time for you to leave.
It's time. And that's sad. I just think that it's sad.
Well, it's sad, and I guess the sadness is the realization that something that you were fond of has come to an end. But the good thing is that, you know, if you are of those individuals who have actually left, when you look back, you can see that point in time where, you know, you can say, I am so glad I left, because had I not, you'd been stuck. You'd been stuck there.
Yep, you absolutely would have. I wouldn't have done the things that I've done. I wouldn't have become a storyteller there. You know, there was so many things that I would not have done, but it hurts when you have to leave.
Yeah.
When it's time to leave, it's
time. It's time to leave.
So I'm trying. Now I'm saying, this has got to be it, Lord. Please let it be it, because I'm trying not to have too much of an opinion. You know, we did the Christmas pageant, and I wrote it up, and
now this is at your church.
At my church, and the pastor says he's going to put in the songs, and then he didn't put in the songs, so then I put in the songs, and then something else happened that I wasn't expecting, and I said, oh my gosh. I said, Cleo, just take it calmly. I did spurt off a little bit, but I calms down. And I said, this is not a major production, Cleo. This is the Christmas program.
It's the church Christmas pageant.
I said, I want them to take this seriously. You know, I want them to feel it. You know, so I got all these things that I want. And, you know, the shepherds are putting on their things, the guys are laughing, you know, and that's all right. And they want me to have a little girl who could not rehearse. She just wanted to come in on Sunday and do it. I said, you know, I'm saying, are they nuts? But I said, no, I don't think that is. She can't rehearse. She can be an angel, you know. But when everything came down, I let it go, and because I thought the little girl was 12, the little girl was 5. I said, oh my God. I said, let this thing go. I said, that little girl want to dance up there. Let her dance up there, But she didn't want to. She didn't want to dance. She didn't want to be an angel. So I said to Mom, hey, I said, you go up there and you be an angel with her. But God said, you go up there and be an angel with her. Then another little girl came and she was going to be an angel. So I said, oh, give her a couple, and she was an angel. I said, let this thing go. This thing's going to be okay just the way it's going to happen. So the angels come down the aisle, and a little 5-year-old is dancing down the aisle, holding her mom's hand. They go up on behind Joseph and Mary. Oh, it turned out just fine. Everybody had a good time. They felt it because you could feel they felt it. Mm-hmm. And everyone was joyous afterward. And I said, this is the way it's supposed to be, Cleo. So
it was fun. It was fun.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
But I enjoyed because I direct things. I was going to do some of the readings, but I gave it to someone else, and I directed. So I was right back there directing everything, which, of course, I enjoyed. I enjoyed doing it, putting it together. I enjoyed directing it, and I had a good time too.
Well, that's
so it was good. It turned out just the way it was supposed to turn out.
A friend of mine was a student under Alvin Ailey, and noted choreographer. But I remember when he was doing some things here in Hartford with young people, and so, I get they're children. Yeah, he, I know he works with young people, but when you talk to him on the phone about the production and the way he's talking about the production, in my mind, I'm like, these got to be like Ailey kind of dancers, These are like, top flight, If you don't have the right expression, you're banned from they could crush you and you will never dance in this town again, kind of thing, And so I get that little children. He's talking to them like they're, But you start off with a professional attitude from the beginning.
Yes.
And it stays that way all the way to the end. And so it took me a long time to realize that you can't treat children like adults.
Yes.
Because of the, in my mind of the performing arts, you there's a standard of excellence that is excellence. It doesn't matter who you are.
They said, and that's what they said about the little. She's professional. She's a wonderful dancer. She can pick this up. I thought the girl was about 12 or 13 or something. She can pick this up. She'll know what to do. And I kept saying, if she doesn't, and she hasn't heard the music. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't really go to the church. Mm-hmm. She hasn't heard the music. So she's going to get up here and dance. And I said, if she's churched, she probably is going to know the basic movement. She's probably going to know kind of what to do, So I said, I just gave it up. Okay, she's coming. So the family comes in, and I'm looking at the older girl. I said, are you the dancer? And the mother says, no, she's the dancer. This is a little. Oh, God. So I bring her in. I said, all right, we're going to dance, I said. And she, what are we going to... So I did some movements for her. Mm-hmm. And I prayed, and I said, you're going to dance around like this? And no, I'm not going to do it. I said, oh, all right. I said, you want to be an angel? It's up to you. You make the decision. You want to be an angel. So we did all this talking. She didn't want to do anything until her mom, because the angel had a reading, a part that just one sentence, glory to God in the highest, peace on earth. And I said, now, I know this 5-year-old is not going to say that. So what happened was the angels came up there, the children, the mother, and off stage, the mother said, glory to God in the highest. And so it came out, and it worked perfect. It worked, perfect. But I was shocked when I saw the 5-year-old. She's 5 years old. Her mother says she's almost 6. She'll be 6. But right, you have to give up the professional thing, because this is a church nativity, and it's supposed to be joyous and fun. Don't direct the heck out of it, Don't direct it to death. So I had to let it go, and everybody was happy at the end. Mm-hmm. Everybody was happy at the end, so it was good. But yeah, we can get lost in our direction.
As you're talking, it brings back. I used to have so much. We used to have so much fun with our. We used to have stage. The Lights Were Stage Company. We would produce plays and movies and dance theater and all kinds of other stuff, and it was a blast, And every once in a great while, I think, well, maybe we should produce something. Then I say, no.
It's a lot.
So there's a whole lot of work, and
even a little nativity that's just 15-20 minutes long is a lot of work for that. For the little thing that you're doing.
Yeah, I remember we did one production. That was 15 hours. Folks was talking about they're hungry. Hungry? You want to eat? Get the scene right. Kind of ruthless to work with. Yeah. So no, but we had I had fun. I'm pretty sure everyone else had fun. But it's I love production. In fact, I had an opportunity to be at the 224. There was a dance project on Sunday. It was really, really good. Dance from around the world.
Oh,
it was really nice. It was nice, and they had little people. They had little kids, but they also had adults. So they, I know most of the people that were involved in that, except I don't know the children, but the adults and stuff. I know.
Gone anywhere or done anything. I was thinking the other day. I said, my goodness, I don't go to any meetings. I don't. I haven't seen anything this season, and there have been things that I would have loved to have seen, and gone to Christmas parties. I missed the Christmas parties. I said, oh my gosh, I gotta cut this out. This cannot be. I'm just like disappeared. I'm saying, wow, I've totally disappeared. So I'm gonna get back into things, because I hate missing things like that.
Yeah. Things come along, and despite what some people believe, you cannot multitask. You can only do one thing at a time. You may do a multitude of things back to back, but you can only do one thing at a time. And so there is a time for all things. And
yes, I hope I can get back into doing some things and going some places.
I'm looking forward to 2024 and being engaged. I love the arts community. Like, my first heart is in, my heart is in radio. But
I love radio.
Radio I love. But the arts, performing arts, and I really like capturing that. So this year, I'm going to spend a lot more time involved in the arts and the art stuff. I don't mind the political stuff, because I'm an activist and trying to, I like fighting for the things that should be right, but I absolutely refuse to fight for folks who are not going to fight for themselves. And I'm not going to do that. But the capturing the arts and documenting that and presenting that and just being in the arts culture is very, uplifting
Yes,
and
yes.
being around creative people who are bold and take the extra steps and the risk to express themselves, I find to be more engaging than
And
the political sycophants, which I am growing weary of.
yes, I agree totally. I am very similar. I thought that this week while I was doing some studying, people think I read all the time. I don't read all the time. Although every time they see me, I'm reading. I read it in the laundry room. I read. I don't read all the time.
She reads everything. You know, she knows every book. She's read thousands of books, and she knows them all by heart.
But while I was in the laundrette reading, I said, at one time I wanted to be, as I used to call it, a storyteller for God. I wanted to be a biblical storyteller. They talked me out of that. They said, the church talked me out of that. I said, no, you can't be that because you'll starve. No one will ever listen to your stories. People don't like biblical storytelling. So, but now I've been saying, listen, I've been wanting to do this for years, so I'm gonna just do this. So I'm starting with. I have a lot of stories, but I'm starting to get down the parables of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know them and be able to tell them, kind of my way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was kind of planning on doing and studying and reading on them and meanings and stuff like that. I can listen to myself, but that's what I'm going to okay. That's what I'm going to do. I had some ideas, but my ideas I never followed through because there's always a very uncomfortable. I get to a very uncomfortable spot in like the Zoom thing. That is so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable for me. I said, I don't like this. It's so uncomfortable. But even I try it again. I said, this is so uncomfortable.
Just push your way through.
And so I stop. I said, and I get to so far, and then I get messed up, and I just said, oh no, I can't do this Zoom thing.
Oh, you could do the Zoom thing.
Many times I sit down and try to do that.
Is it the technical or the or what?
It's the technical. It's the technical. It's not all right. Push this button, push that button, put the other button, and it's done. It's not that. You got to know something. You actually have to know what you're doing.
Well, it's like anything else that you know how to do. You have to do it enough times to get proficient. So there's no one watching you. I mean, there's
No.
if you do a Zoom, no one, it's not like 1,000 people are watching you make mistakes. So you just do it over and over again until you get good at it. No one will know. It's like basketball. No one gets good at basketball without practice.
Right. That's right.
And so you can't
guess
reasonably expect you're gonna.
No, I don't expect I'm gonna ever get it.
You will get it. With declare and decree. No.
You're gonna get this no matter what.
You gotta get church on you, right?
All right.
Become a bishop, and deep. You get to get a deep voice.
All right. I'll try. Deep voice is not one of. But I'm not gonna get a deep voice.
Then you can do. Now we're gonna claim this that you are going to be successful
in this Zoom thing. I said, "Oh my God!"
Right.
That's why I come here and I talk because I love being on the air. and I talk because I could sit here and talk and we could have a conversation, but I don't have to do any of the work.
Well,
I don't have to push the buttons and do all of that stuff and think all that stuff while I'm sitting here. I'm just sitting here talking to you.
Right. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm practicing. this is my practice. You know, just like basketball people practice every day.
Yes, this is your practice.
This is my practice, because if I don't practice, I will not be sharp. So the thing is to do this while you're actually talking to somebody, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screens that you got to look at.
Yeah.
And buttons and all kinds of stuff, because when I charge my absurdly, embarrassingly high fee for my services, there's no room for error.
Right.
So you have to, when you go out, and it's not going to happen because stuff goes wrong. Something goes wrong always. It's not, can you eliminate the wrong? It's how do you react and respond when wrong comes. And that you have to practice so that you can get beyond the wrongs, and when stuff happens and you have backup systems and things like that.
Yeah.
And gaps of time between you do it. So you have to, I would love to just sleep all day. But if I do, I won't. In a perfect world, I wouldn't have to do this anymore. But I love doing it. And if I don't do this, right now I do this. Well, I do. We broadcast once a week now. We used to do it every day. But I do 5 programs on Tuesdays. That's like 5 practice sessions. Like whole start, stop, program, start, stop, program, start, stop. So it keeps me sharp. Otherwise, I'll get rusty quick. Real quick. So if you keep doing it, you'll get better. You'll get better. Trust me. You will get better. You'll get better, Cleo. I know you can do this. You can type.
Yes.
I can't type. I have a client who actually pays me by the hour to type.
And you can't type.
No, I've gotten better. But the individual likes, they like working with me and the fact that I keep things confidential. So I type, You pay for my time. Not what I'm doing. You pay for my time. So I'm good.
Wow. Well, I just I guess it's like storytelling. I used to be really nervous and didn't think but I'll go in and tell a story because you got something in the back of your head. Tell a story or and if I forget something, believe it, something's gonna be there. I don't know what's gonna be there, but believe me, I'm not gonna stop. So I guess, but I'm more comfortable with storytelling than with machinery and stuff.
Well, see, everybody has their gift and their talent. I would not do well on stage acting. So I would be afraid I would forget something. I'm amazed. I marvel at actors who can get on the stage and deliver lines and know them and act, and comedians who know all their lines and the points that they have to hit. Or someone gets up there and sings a whole 2 hours of songs and dance. It's fascinating. So I'm behind this. I could be behind the scenes, but if I had to go out on stage and do that, I can run my mouth on stage.
Yeah.
But act and know a line or a script. Give me now I'm jacked up. If it's something I got to remember, I'm going to be a mess. So storytelling, that's a gift.
Well, there's a lot of actors. Well, Dean Martin was one of them.
I like Dean.
He ad-libbed all the time.
I have to ad-lib.
He didn't rehearse. The show he had every week. Mm-hmm. He didn't rehearse. He came in and did the show wherever and he had a good. People loved this show.
Off the dome.
I don't rehearse either. I don't rehearse my stories anyway. I rehearse other things.
I
but
rehearse nothing.
I don't rehearse storytelling. You hear the story when you hear the story. No, because I got this feeling that I'm going to be rehearsing, and that's going to be the best.
That's right.
The best one I do, and I'm going to get up there, and I'm not going to do as well as I did because I've already told. Because so you never tell it quite the same way. So I don't want my best storytelling to be at a rehearsal.
Well, I always teach people, let it happen in real time. Have the interview in front of the camera. I have one producer who produces down to the questions and answers. Do a whole show like 2-3 times before the show actually is done.
Oh, I can't do that.
But that's, to each their own. We're out of time, Miss Cleo.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll come back next week.
All right. Next week we'll see you. Next week is Christmas Eve. Wait a minute.
No, this is Tuesday. It'll be Christmas.
Tuesday. Yeah. We'll be here.
You'll be here the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
It'll be the day after Christmas.
It'll be day after Christmas. My wife's not doing a program. She informed me. No. I said, but no. Today is the last day for the year. Okay, sweetheart. So Civic Beat will be off for 2 weeks until January.
This is my free time. Getting out the house and then
I'll see you next. I will see you next week.
Yeah, you'll see me, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's good because I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm a talkaholic. Jonathan Small is next. So you all stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. He'll join us to take us to the end of Morning Talk. In the meantime, we will listen to a little more Jay Hogarth. Name of that song is Praise God. In the beginning, praise God.
Okay, a gospel tune?
Well, it's jazz.
Jazz, but
it's
praise God.
Yeah, it's but that's the name of the song. So, praise God. Yeah. So. Jonathan Small in the house.
It's good to be back here, Stan.
So what's happening in Jonathan's world?
Well, getting through a bad head cold yesterday. I mean, my goodness. I mean, I was coughing the whole day and trying to clear up for today. And I'm a 50 to 75% better, not 100%. But, you know, I should be able to get through this. I don't think it was the flu, though. Because the flu, I guess you can't even get up out of bed, really. When you have the flu, your whole
I don't know.
body.
Something's going around. I was talking to my buddy Marcus, and he said he was out, down. Had a fist bump the dude. Dude was coffee, fist bump. No sooner he got home.
Could have been them nice days. I wasn't dressed properly, and I got some bad habits of coming out of the shower right outside. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying. I think not dressing appropriately.
They say that that's not how you catch a cold.
It's not okay. And even when you catch a cold, no matter what you take, it's just going to take time to get it out of your system. But the good thing is it's coming up. Because somebody told me this a long time ago. You don't want that sinus and mucus to stay down. You want it to come out.
I don't know. I said just get you some ginger ale.
Nah, you got it. That's ginger ale. It might help a little bit, but I would just say honey, lime juice, hot tea, ginger, and rest, and just takes time. That's all I can say, Stan.
Don't get sick.
Don't get sick, yeah.
Don't get sick. Bill Katz. You know Bill Katz?
Bill Catch?
Katz.
Bill
Katz. You said you watched.
Thurman Milner?
No. You said you watched. Did you watch the event last night?
I watched part of it. I didn't watch the
mayor
entire.
elect?
I watched part of it, not the entire.
Okay, well, the guy that was speaking about the Cats, his last name is Katz, not C-A-T, but with a K.
Yes.
T-Z. Bill Katz, he's a musician. And he has a song that he wrote. We did a video around this. It's called Don't Get Sick
Right.
Before You Die.
Well,
And it's about, insurance and all the things associated with it. So the name of the song is Don't Get Sick. Don't get sick before you die.
Some things could be out of your control, Stan, regardless.
Yeah.
That's a good theory, but that doesn't always happen.
No, because you get sick.
We get sick, yeah.
It happens.
Right. So anything, I mean, you said you was covering the event last night. Obviously, that was got about an hour and 25 minutes. I think I looked on.
Yes, that's right. That's you right. 1 hour, 25 minutes, 35 seconds.
Right.
Total run time. Somewhere around 35 seconds. Yeah.
Well, I got to be honest, Stan. It might tie into this morning's show of Face to Face. I think I'm tired of hearing reasons why things can't get done. I want to hear reasons why things can.
Welcome to the club, brother.
Club, exactly. And I know you are definitely a proactive person.
Yeah.
But when I heard the recent statement, I think it ran across the Hartford Current that it's going to be dead people due to the homelessness problems and the cold weather. I don't know if that's a good sign to just state it like that. You want to say something that we're going to do everything
Who said
we can.
that?
It was written in the Hartford Current. I don't know the person that stated it. I should always get my facts in order. But it was reported on the Hartford Current dealing with the homelessness situation that they expect dead people. And I just found out there was already 6 people that have died. They didn't say exactly what it was due to the cold weather or not, but they was talking about the homeless problems and the people who have no place to live. And then it was reported, I believe again in the Hartford Current, that this past, and I don't even think winter's officially gotten started yet.
It has not started yet. No.
But 6 people has already died. But again, they didn't say exactly what was the cause of death. They was kind of just relating it towards the homelessness problem, people outside with no place to live.
It's going to get bad. I mean, now that you're talking about it, because it hasn't even gotten cold yet.
Right. But the problem is, you can see these things all summer. people, and again, it's a complex problem, Stan. Don't get me wrong. This is not an easy problem to fix.
It's easier than it is made out to be. It's intention. Things are intentional. I have not been following this.
You haven't been following, yeah.
No, I disconnected after the election.
Well, all I can say is, having a cold yesterday was nothing like having a warm place to relax and get yourself together. I mean, and this could be a contributing factor. Maybe people are getting sick. They have no way to medicate themselves. They have no fixed address. And I don't know if they couldn't get to the hospital. It could be any reasons, don't get me wrong. But I can see the step process of, if you're sick, you have no way to get access to even the basic medication. You know, I was able to get to a pharmacy. I had medication at the house. I was able to get all of the remedies that you need throughout the day. And sometimes people may take these things for granted. You know, everybody's supposed to have access to medicine and all of the type of things that you need. But when you have no stability, you're out sleeping on the streets all hours of the day and all hours of the nights, you get sick. You're not even paying attention sometimes. You don't know what to do. Yeah, you got the emergency room, obviously. You can still go there. And you would think that would be easy to do because you have, St. Francis Hospital pretty much in the city. You have Hartford Hospital. And that's another problem they're talking about. I'm hearing reports that people want to get rid of some of these shelters in Hartford.
That's true.
It's true. Do you think that's a good thing? I mean, he could put you on the spot. People are coming into the city.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you are in terms of philosophical points of view, worldview, your political points of view, the things that you're trying to achieve. Is it good for humanity? No. It's a matter of what you value. What do you value human beings? If you do, it's manifest in the actions and activities that you undertake to help them. These things aren't rocket science. These things are very, every year it gets cold. Yeah. And every year we have people living in the tunnel. Every year we have, during the summertime, there are people sleeping on the Bushnell Park stage.
Right.
Defecating and peeing on the stage. You had to go up there and there are people living in tents. So what's your plan for the wintertime for these same people? And it doesn't matter where they come from. If they're here, now it's an issue you have to deal with. So I'm not in the seat of power. I don't get to make those grand decisions, and I'm sick and tired of talking about what other folks should do, because they're not doing enough if they're doing anything.
Yeah, well, I think the key is you said you're not in a position of power.
You have to be in order to implement the things that need to be done. That requires you to be in the seat of power.
I hate to keep bringing this up, but does the Greater African American Alliance have any authority, any influence on some of these issues?
The Greater Hartford African American Alliance has influence on many things when it decides to move in that direction. So the alliance is, once again, a group of individuals. So, the alliance moves what the group decides to move forward.
Right.
Homelessness has not been on the top of mind for our members. So sort of like does the trucking association? What are they doing about homelessness? They're not really existing for homelessness.
Right.
So.
Well, the problem, Stan, is it's in your backyard. You may not directly be affected by it.
Everything is in our backyard.
Everything is in your backyard. Right.
So,
well, yeah.
Everything is in our backyard. Failing youth in schools, sewage backing up in people's houses.
Well, I wonder what happened yesterday. I saw mattresses all over the place. I don't know if that was affected by the flooding or the water or the rain that we had yesterday, but it was just mattresses all over the city. And I think Bridget Prince showed something about Keeney Park or Waverly Street
like Love Lane area.
Love
whatever.
Lane area,
That
yeah.
floods all the time.
all the time. So that's nothing new.
Right. There's a difference between flooding and sewage backup.
Right.
You can't stop flooding.
Mm-hmm.
The river's flooding.
Okay.
You know, it's just like it's not like where's the water gonna go? You gotta go somewhere.
Well, probably a long-term strategy. You probably can't
There's
stop
no
it now.
long-term strategy to stop flooding.
So you always got to have streets where you can't
As
drive.
long as you have more water falling out of the sky than you have ways to get rid of it, you're going to have flooding. Now, some flooding could be mitigated if if the sewers that aren't cleaned are cleaned.
Right.
There was flooding downtown for many, many years. They put the river underground.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the river doesn't flow through, Bushel Park where they buried it because of the flooding.
Okay.
So there are ways to deal with flooding. What do you want to do? Put a wall around the city, and you got like I said, we can go to the moon. We can build multi-billion-dollar high-tech machines that 2 football fields long that float under the water and launch intercontinental ballistic missiles, and with 8 warheads on each missile. So it's a matter of what we want to do as a society and what we decide to do. And it's less how concerned people are and more what are they willing to actually do.
Right.
These problems aren't new.
Well, I'll tell you, brother, I tried my best to take care, and it's a personal situation when you get sick to try to get well.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I figured a way, or tried my best through God's will to get through this head cold and this coughing.
Only you can do that. No one else can do that for you. See, some things you got to take control of.
But again, having a place to lay down, having access to go to a bathroom, having access to have things on the stove to warm up, played a role in me getting better, Stan. Now, if I was outside, had no fixed address, had no access to even the basic medication, I probably would still be sick. Worse,
as are many people right now.
Right. But again, you're tired of just talking about these things.
Well, Jonathan, you and me talking about it, what's it going to do?
Right. Well, you can address the situation.
Addressing the situation is different than fixing the problem. We sitting on a bus with 4 flat tires, and someone need to say something. Okay, so everybody's on the bus yelling and screaming and pointing out and having debates about the flat tires. Meanwhile, the sun rises and sets and rises and sets, and everyone starves to death because no one's doing anything to change our situation.
Yeah, that's true. But
so I'm not interested in analyzing what's wrong. I can see what's wrong.
Okay.
I want to know how are we going to fix it.
Right. And that's the problem. And we've been through this before. The whole process is call 211, try to get into a shelter. And some people don't even want to stay in the shelter. But
that's a problem that they themselves are in control of.
Right. Because you don't have the luxury.
No. The city of Hartford does do some things. It's not like the city doesn't have services.
Mm-hmm.
But people won't take advantage of the service.
211?
Just whether it's 211 or whether it's going to get the help you need.
No, but Stan, it all starts with 211. You're not going to get into any housing without going through 211 first.
So
you have to call 211, let them know your situation from what I understand. Then they'll try to see if they can get you into a shelter. It's not even guaranteed there's always going to be shelters availability.
Right.
And from that point,
Jonathan, there's no end of the things that we can worry about, commiserate about.
Yeah. But there's a problem in a city when 6 people die and it's being swept underneath the rug.
It's not being swept.
You don't think it's being swept underneath the rug?
No. I don't think that's a fair statement.
Well, how come it's not? Well, what's giving you evidence that it hasn't been swept underneath the rug?
You know about it.
You're right.
Stuff swept under the rug you don't know about. How'd you find out if it's swept under the rug? No one. It's a conspiracy to keep you in the dark, but you know.
Right.
How's that qualify for being swept under the rug?
Well, the media was how I found out about it. If it wasn't for me looking on the media online, I wouldn't have known about that. But again, you're saying, Stan, it doesn't really matter if we even know about things, because if it's not going to be some plan to fix things, yes, we know what's the problem. It comes back to, I guess you're saying, we can know what the problem
Right.
is.
It would be different if Jonathan. It would be different if I could say, get Jonathan on the phone, because if I call him, we'll fix this. But that's not the case.
Right.
So you read it in the newspaper, it didn't change anything.
No.
It just make you mad. So now you're mad.
Well,
now
not,
what are you going to do about it?
Well, not really mad. It just kind of, what's the word for it? It kind of solidifies what really is going on in this. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good things too. Sometimes the good things doesn't always get promoted. And that's a whole another problem too. Sometimes the focus is always on the negative things and the bad things, and then the good things, rarely gets really highlighted. I just thought because you covered this event of homelessness, or you was there, I don't know, again, your direct role, that you might have had some insight on what you thought about this whole situation. That was really kind of the whole purpose of being brought up. But again, my point stand overall in the big picture is, I think there's places that you can do better. I think despite, I know the new mayor has a strategy.
He's the mayor-elect. He's not in office.
All right. Okay, the mayor-elect.
So the strategies that he has, good or bad, have not had an opportunity to be deployed because he's not in power yet.
Right.
So,
but he has to put together his staff and get everything prepared.
Which he is doing, but he also has to have an opportunity to get into the office and sit down with the actual authority to do the things that he thinks should be done.
Right.
So, you can't blame him.
No. I'm just saying you want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and you want to believe that, things. See, I think the key is you want to believe that things are going to get better and not stay the same. And I think the last I heard, again, it's always listening to these reports, is that Cynthia Jennings and Bridget Prince still have some issues with MDC. And even Speaker Matt Ritter. I mean, I don't know the whole ins and outs of the whole details, but it's like they're not satisfied.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, right.
They're not going to be satisfied until it's fixed.
Right.
Right.
But again, it's the same old predicament. MDC is at fault. MDC should be doing this and doing that. But, if you feel, Stan, that, you have to be in a position of authority, you can't really, you said after the election that you've kind of let these issues, go.
Well, I let them go, Jonathan, because I am not in a position to do anything.
Right.
I am not going to spend the next 4 years talking about what's wrong. That's why I run.
Right.
My running alleviates me of the need to have to worry about it, because I offered solutions that were not embraced.
Right.
I am always willing to help anybody that wants help doing something. But I am not going to be a willing participant in commiserating about stuff that can be fixed, but it's not being fixed. I have no authority or power to fix certain things. So I can't, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I think what you can do is obviously be in control of accesstv.org network. You can definitely...
I'm in control of that.
So that's something that's in your control that you can...
It's in my full control.
Full control, exactly. and don't get me wrong, that plays a big role. And I don't want to get into the point of, a business strategy, because that's a decision that you have to make.
I'm not. I am no more interested in business strategy than I was 8 years ago. Right.
Well, the point is you're providing media outlets, and that's a good thing, and that's needed. Because I think people sometimes underestimate the media outlets that you have and that you need.
Well, we try to do our very best to keep people informed. That's not going to stop.
Right.
I've been doing that for 40 years.
Right. Well, maybe I'm living in a utopia world, and this misconception that I think people should have good opportunities, people should be able to reach their potential.
People do have opportunities. People do reach their potential.
Mm-hmm.
There's more opportunity than there isn't.
Right.
I say that to say this. Most people have to step over it to get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Over it, around it, push through it. A lot of opportunities people don't want to take.
Right.
I mean, electric boat is begging for people.
That's true.
I mean, they're begging people. Anytime an entity like General Dynamics and Electric Boat is willing to take people in who have no experience or skill and will train them,
right,
those are opportunities of a lifetime. Those are jobs you can get, hold on to, and retire from with a pension. Because they're not going to invest in you and then just throw you out. These are long-term projects, very high-skilled, and they will train you on how to do them. Even if you have a skill set and you get there, you don't do it the General Dynamic way, so they have to train you.
Right.
And it's easier to train somebody who doesn't have bad habits than it is to break the bad habits of someone who's coming from somewhere else. So it's a great place.
So that means sometimes even for myself, you got to focus yourself on where the opportunities exist at.
Absolutely.
More than trying to get into something that's unlikely for you to obtain.
Right. There are opportunities abound down in New London where General Dynamics is. That means people might have to relocate to New London. They may have to pick up a trade that they didn't think that they would do. But there's plenty of opportunities there. There's an abundance of opportunities to get trained and to learn new things. There are no opportunities in television production on a Hollywood backstage in Hartford.
Right.
And no one's going to create it so that someone can have an opportunity to expand in that light. If that's what you want to do, you got to move out to California.
Right, right.
And hit the ground with a whole lot of other people.
Well, I think even, in high school, you have your guidance counselor, and they, I guess before you're about to graduate, they try to figure out what it is that you're going to pursue after high school. And if they give you some type of aptitude test to try to figure out, okay, is this person cut out to go in this direction, whether it's the vocational training, whether it's the college training, whether it's technical, or whether it's just a business training. So when you're talking about Electric Boat, even though they will train you, you got to somewhat be mechanically inclined. You can't. Well, you get an aptitude test to figure out what this person is cut out for.
When I went to Pratt & Whitney, I live here now as a direct result of Pratt & Whitney. I came to Hartford on a tour of Pratt. I applied to Pratt when I got out of aviation maintenance school, and I got a job. And so it was only when I got into Pratt & Whitney that I realized how dynamic. So I was 19 years old.
Right.
There were people at Pratt & Whitney. The only thing they do is replace light bulbs. That's how many light bulbs are in the facility.
Oh, it is? Okay.
And that's all they do. Pratt & Whitney has a wooden block floor, so if you drop a multi-tens of $1,000 part on the floor will absorb the shock and less damage will happen to the part. Hopefully it doesn't fall over on your foot after it hits the floor. But there's people who change these blocks.
Okay.
The whole plant is filled with, I don't know what it's like now, but back then that's what it was like. And there's people who do that. And they put the tar down, and there are thousands and thousands of different jobs.
Okay.
That need to be done. Now, there aren't thousands and thousands of people like there used to be, but there's still a lot of people there. So from engineering to television production to motion picture production to flying an airplane to working on a mill to inspection, quality assurance, process planning, the list is endless. Working in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Cleaning the bathrooms, doing plumbing, electricity, being an electrician, being a carpenter. It's endless. Security, fire department. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on. There are all kinds of opportunities. So people have to find what the opportunities are, where the opportunities are, and then apply.
Okay, so the ball is in the individual's court.
The ball is in your court. No one's going to come to your house and offer you the job of a lifetime. That's just not going to happen.
Okay, and if you pursue it, chances are you could get a job at Electric Boat because they need people. So the odds are you have a very good chance at getting hired and trained to work at Electric Boat.
I would advise anyone that's looking for a job, I don't care what your skill set is or your education, go apply. Only thing that can happen is they tell you no. It's an automatic no if you don't apply.
Right.
City of Hartford's looking for people. Go apply.
Yeah. But, I mean, Electric Boat has thousands of openings that the city of Hartford doesn't have.
I don't know if they have thousands of openings. I know they're having a hard time getting people to work, which means that more people they need people to apply.
Right.
When they start advertising the way they are right now during football games, that's a broad ask. And that skill set is very difficult to replace. Remember, a lot of general dynamics skill set is gone. The people retired, and with them they take the wisdom out the door.
Yeah,
they retire, and now if you've got 8,000, if you got 2,000 people retire within 3 or 4 years, it's devastating. And then you had the pandemic too.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing even with the building trades. They're having a shortage of getting people into the building trade. So
yeah,
I guess you said the key word. There's opportunities out there, but people got to do their part.
People have to do they have to apply.
Yeah.
If you don't apply for the job, you can't be angry that no one's coming and
and you got to be aware of it too.
Make yourself aware.
Make yourself aware. Okay.
Make yourself aware. If you're an actor or a singer and you want a part in a play,
right,
you have to go to where the auditions are.
Okay.
You get the trade magazines. You look through them. Oh, there's a part for a little play in Baton Rouge. Go audition. You audition to everything that you can find until finally you get a little part. And you turn that part into an opportunity of a lifetime because you never know who's going to see you and discover you. And you may have to go to Chicago, or you may have to go to L.A., or you may have to go to Hilltown, Pennsylvania, or you may have to go to Marlboro and do a little church play. If there's something you want to do, find out where it's being done and apply. And
I think, and it might even be for people like yourself, when you're running for mayor, you want to create the job market here, but again, you have to be in a key position to do that. So many people grow up believing that the job market should be established here, that the city needs more jobs. And I know what you're saying, that even the city is hiring. It may not be in the thousands, but them days probably are over with anyway.
The need for jobs is self-evident. Just because the need is there doesn't mean the mayor has to create. The mayor doesn't create. Government doesn't create jobs. There's jobs in government, but it's not government's job to create jobs. The private sector creates jobs.
Right.
Okay. So you have to create an atmosphere that's conducive to the private sector to come. But that's for brighter minds than mine, because I'm not the one making those decisions. And so, but you all can make decisions to move to a place where there are better opportunities, or live here and go to where those opportunities are to work and then come home.
Right. That's a good introduction to our format at 11 o'clock. I think it might tie into some of the things that we're talking about. But it's good to know I guess it's good to know your assessment. You're very consistent on what you believe in. You don't change.
I'm extremely consistent because this is what I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't tell people what they want to hear. You tell them what they need to hear.
No.
That's fair enough. Everything.
No, I'm a lot like Elon when it comes to people who don't agree with me.
Right.
I will never lose any sleep because someone is mad at something I said. That stopped when I was 19 years old.
But you sound like you're kind of fair. You didn't really give me a straight answer whether we should have less shelters in the city and just get rid of them or not. You think if we're really concerned with human capital,
then we'll invest in
that. Okay.
Since we're not investing in that, then it would seem to me that the message is don't come here if you need a place to stay because we're not going to help you.
Help you, right.
And there's a whole rationale and a reason for that stance that can be explained. And it's not a matter of whether or not people like it. This is why elections matter.
Yeah.
Elections matter because it sets the course for the next 4 years of what is acceptable and what people will accept and not accept. If they don't like these things, they didn't express that at the polls. So now they have this to contend with.
Well, it's too long and deep to get into the reasons why. I mean, I won't even go into that.
Because you got a guest coming.
I got a guest coming.
So we're gonna do some show prepping here. We got another live showing. 15 minutes. All right, 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I gotta. Yeah. John is gonna go into the green room, and I have some technical stuff to do. So. All right, Mr. Small. Always a good conversation with you.
Try my best to make it a good conversation.
I like that. All right, my friends. We'll see you all next time. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Stick and stay. Jonathan's coming up with Face to Face next, right?
Yes, it is. Face to face.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.